Hey guys, what's up? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another VPN review. Surfshark VPN is interesting. It's a VPN that's actually not that old, but actually pretty popular. It started popping up on review sites, and that's one of the reasons I think it has gotten so popular. It has a very lucrative affiliate commission model. I've never actually been a part of their affiliate program because it's never been highly rated enough on the channel to warrant actually doing that. Additionally, the company does seem to have a huge marketing budget, which has kind of saturated YouTube as well, with the likes of other companies like NordVPN and ExpressVPN. You might have known a YouTuber who has been sponsored by Surfshark, and you might be wondering, well, is it actually a good VPN to use from someone who actually tests and uses them for a living? I've done over 60 plus VPN reviews, and I've been reviewing them over 5 years. You can check out all my rankings on vpntierlist.com, where I've ranked every single VPN in handy dandy tier lists, as well as a comparison table listing out all the scores. And I've even made a transparency report, and as well as things like the reputable VPN program to hold VPNs accountable to my reputation scoring. Anyways, guys, thanks for the support beforehand. Click on some of the links on the tier list or down in the description down below if you want to help support the channel with affiliate links. And let's get on to this honest, unbiased, objective, non-sponsored Surfshark review for 2021. Let's find out what all the fuss is or isn't about, dare I say. Alright guys, so as always, the first section we're going to be talking about is of course pricing, and this is one area that Surfshark has kind of bothered me in the past. Now Surfshark, what it likes to do is kind of have a few different marketing methods that I personally find problematic in terms of like how I view things as they should be viewed for consumer friendliness. The way Surfshark does it is they always have these like holiday deals. They'll have one every couple months, in the summer, in the fall, pretty much like all the time. It's going a lot of the year. They have these sales where you get like, I guess, a couple months free. Now these sales do usually have some kind of countdown timer, whether, a week or days or whatever. I can't really keep track. Credit to Surfshark, I think most of these timers do seem to be legitimate, whereas other VPN providers that I'm not going to name, but I think everyone could probably guess which one out of these five it could be. Some of these VPN providers like to create like timers that actually are like more like cookie based. So if you open up the browser and go to the VPN's website and look at the timer, it'll say one thing. You open up another browser and it'll actually refresh the timer. So I think Surfshark, what they're doing is actually these are real timers. However, I still am not a fan of timers, even if it is real. That's because it kind of creates a fake sense of pressure on the consumer to buy a specific deal. It says, hey, this deal's gonna run out, you better get it before it does. Not only that, but I do have a problem with this marketing method of saying getting 83% off. Now, this kind of makes you think like, hey, I'm going to get a deal that's 83% off. Let's say you go to the store, you see a t-shirt, it's like $10. If you were to say it's 83% off, it would be like maybe like $2 or something, right? So it's not really what Surfshark is saying. It's more like saying, hey, this shirt's 83% off. You just have to buy 10 shirts and we'll give it to you for like $60 or something like that. So that's kind of what Surfshark's doing here. It's not really 83% off. It's more like you're paying for a longer subscription and getting a reduced price, like as if you were paying per month. So you're technically getting 83% off the monthly plan, but you have to pay up front for 2 years. I don't really think like most people think like that, and I don't know why all VPNs kind of price things that way. It just kind of bothers me personally. It's kind of up to you though, I guess. You do get 3 free months with this current deal, but of course, in a couple months this might go away, in a couple months it might come back, who knows. I don't really count that too much for this pricing system because it's so exclusive and pressured and time based, because it's not really what I do for my VPNs. Now, if the sale went all year or there was some kind of promo code that would activate it all year, then I would include it in the pricing system like I do with some other VPNs like Torguard VPN. So my problem with this deal, namely, is that the 1 month is incredibly expensive, $13, around the same price as ExpressVPN or some of the most expensive VPNs out there. The 6 month is also pretty expensive at $40, and the only really affordable plan to get is 2 years worth of this. So it's going to be $60, and then after the second year, it's going to be, or after the second year and 3 months, it's going to be $13, or it's actually, well, it says it's annually. So annually. Okay, so it's going to be $60 the first 2 years, and then the third year is going to be respectively $60. So it should be around $120 for 3 years, But then the 4th year, it's going to be around $180. The 5th year, it will be like $240. So it's going to be $60 a year after that point, which is pretty expensive in my opinion. Cheaper than some other options out there. But still, this deal is okay for 2 years, but still, I do not recommend getting a VPN subscription for 2 years. It's not like a coincidence that every single person I meet that has Surfshark or NordVPN or some of these other VPNs that have long-term commitment models, almost every single one of them has bought this plan instead of the 1-month plan. A lot of them, don't really use it anymore, or they might not like it or something like that, just from the people I've talked to. But they're kind of stuck with it because it only has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I do not think that you should subscribe to a VPN for 2 years if you're just starting it for the first time. Try the 1-month plan, although for here it's pretty expensive, which makes it harder. And then if you do decide you like it, maybe after 1 or 2 or 3 months, then maybe go for a longer term commitment. However, that said, I still would caution you at most to sign up for a yearly plan instead of 2 years, because that's just quite simply too long. Unfortunately, Surfshark only has a 2-year plan and not a 1-year plan, so you're going to be kind of stuck with it either way. Additionally, Surfshark also has some other things, like some kind of privacy measures behind the scenes and some kind of ways to check if your emails have been leaked. Basically, what they did is they kind of just stripped have I been pwned's kind of way of doing it and querying things and looking up things. There's actually some drama about that on Twitter where they didn't attribute them properly, so that's kind of interesting. I don't really think any of these add-ons are worth paying the extra fee, and it's just a way for Surfshark to kind of give you some add-ons to increase the price a little bit. One interesting thing about Surfshark, it does have unlimited connections, which is a bit odd. I've never seen any VPN do that before. I'm not really sure how it's sustainable, since theoretically you could buy the VPN and share it with all your friends or family or anything like that, and I'm not really sure how they would be able to handle the server load there. So guys, this is Surfshark's application, and what I'm going to do is show you what it looks like and kind of how it feels, and then I'm going to take it to the application analysis to show you a feature by feature breakdown of what Surfshark has to offer. It's a little bit tricky to navigate this application, I've always thought. You have to go into settings, connectivity, and advanced, and just the kind of tabular interface of it's just not my favorite one, but it's fine, I guess. So yeah, this is how you kind of move around and, pick a server. Oh, there's my IP address. Guess I'm going to have to blur that. And yeah, so it's a little tricky to find, how to connect or look for servers. I don't want to connect. Cancel connection. Locations, there we go. And then you could kind of search them around there. So there you go. Still not my favorite design, but it's fine. Now guys, in terms of the application analysis, this is what we have for Surfshark. Just FYI, I will be just adding on each VPN here. Eventually I might have to kind of move this so I'm down here and start a new thing. I'm just going to be keeping track of all the different features for each VPN, and I think I'll be able to make this document public as well. I've been doing this for a while, but I kind of have just been deleting it and replacing with the newer VPNs and keeping it in each video. But I think I'm going to have a chart like this to kind of keep track of the different features and different things the VPNs have going forward, which could be helpful to you guys. I've seen actually someone request that, so that could be useful. Now here we have Surfshark and what it offers in terms of the feature set. The good thing about it is that it does support a lot of protocols like WireGuard. It has cool things like ad blocking through the Clean Web feature, has a whitelister or aka split tunneling to allow you to use VPN on certain things and other things not. Has some obfuscation techniques, server favoriting, configuration while live use, and a kill switch, which is nice. Some of the things that's lacking on is just a little bit more information about what server performance and latency, how the servers are performing. I don't think it includes included BitTorrent proxy with the subscription, so you can't use it outside of just simply using VPN. Kind of a bummer here about Surfshark. It does have 4 trackers on the Android application, which is a little bit higher than I would like. I would like 0. The website does have 1 Cloudflare tracker, and 16 permissions is actually quite high for an application, which I'm not a fan of either. Altogether, Surfshark doesn't do horrible here. It does have some interesting features and ticks a lot of boxes. I'm not a huge fan of the way the application feels and navigates. It's a little bit wide for me in terms of just the way it looks. I do have to admit that Surfshark has come further from being one of the most buggy applications out there a couple years ago to now being mostly usable. Every once in a while I'll get some kind of hang up in the connection or something like that, but overall it's pretty usable and not the worst application. It does tick most of the boxes, so there you go. Alright guys, so now we're going to be testing out Surfshark with a Ubuntu download. I've decided to kind of forego doing speed tests because they're pretty tricky to get accurate. That's why the global speed test results of 2020, we're not using any speed test websites. So right now we're using WireGuard with a Surfshark server, and actually we're getting pretty good speeds. This is kind of what I would expect actually for a VPN that supports WireGuard in 2020. We're looking for around 45 plus megabytes a second for downloads. So overall, Surfshark does seem pretty fast right now. This WireGuard protocol was just actually released recently. So I have to say, Surfshark, pretty good job here on speeds. Not gonna lie, those were pretty impressive and pretty much in line with other VPNs that support WireGuard as well. So yeah, Surfshark and its customer support, what do I think of it? Well, I kind of have mixed opinions here. On one hand, they have live chat, which is good, so I'm gonna give them some points for that. However, the live chat, kind of just gives you the same old spiel as you kind of would expect. I thought this interaction I had with them was pretty funny. I'm gonna show you it here. Okay, so just give me kind of a basic breakdown here. So guys, where exactly is Surfshark based? What about its reputation? Well, this is something I've always had a problem with Surfshark. After reviewing them for, some 3 years, I've never actually been reached out by the company. They've never offered to come on my channel. They've never reached out to clarify anything I've said in reviews. They've really not reached out to me at all. Most of the time, I haven't really kind of recommended them or been an affiliate for them because they didn't really score high enough in my objective review system. So I kind of understand that in some ways. However, if you take a look at Surfshark and the company behind it, or Surfshark Ltd is what the official name is, it's just some kind of office location in the British Virgin Islands. Now, this is kind of VPNs and their way to claim fame in that they are immune to spy agencies and stuff like that because they're based in some kind of remote location, supposedly free from the prying eyes of, spy agencies. I don't personally believe that to be true, and even some CEOs of other companies like OVPN have discussed with me that that necessarily isn't true. Being in the 5 and 14 eyes doesn't really mean you have to give over information if you don't collect logs. But that is neither here nor there. If you want to check out that video, it's on the channel with my interview with David from OVPN. Just thought that was an interesting little tidbit. But focusing back on Surfshark, about this location here in the British Virgin Islands and this Surfshark Ltd company. You can find information about this on the dnb.com. Basically, Surfshark, at least from what I can understand it per se, in terms of I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, so a little bit this is confusing for me, but it looks like they have an ultimate parent company called CEO Corp. So Surfshark Ltd was kind of formalized and made by, I guess, this company. If you look up this company on the website itself, according to this website, it looks like some person called Stephanie Jeremonias is the chief executive officer of Surfshark. However, even if you look up this CEO, it's just some kind of corporate lawyer person who I guess is the founding member, managing director of some kind of international company, head of the legal and corporate department. She's I guess gained considerable experience working as an advocate in the corporate department at some leading law firms in Cyprus. So even the listed CEO of Surfshark is just some kind of lawyer, I guess, which is kind of weird. Things get a little bit weird too when you look at the kind of ownership behind, I guess, who owns Surfshark, or who formalized it, I guess, in terms of these documents. A company called CEO Corp Ltd, which is located in Cyprus. So I'm not really sure how that's related necessarily, but of course, if you look up this company, it's also just kind of some kind of law firm, or just some company that makes incorporation of entities and implementation of structures in various jurisdictions, including but not limited to Republic of Cyprus, British Virgin Islands, Lithuania. So it looks like even this company is not really a specific company. It's just another law firm. So it's we have this company owned perhaps by some kind of person involved in legal work, and then Surfshark is owned by this company who just kind of makes companies for clients. Another interesting thing I found online is this article about NordSec, the company behind NordVPN, with this website that posted this kind of press release called myp.online. meet NordSec, the company behind NordVPN. This is kind of like an actually pretty investigative piece into kind of the ownership behind NordVPN. What I found interesting was that some of the founders, or I guess according to this article, NordVPN's corporate 3 administrators, it lists out the names, and then it also says that according to LinkedIn, one of these administrators is actually a senior company marketing consultant at CEO Corp, which is additionally primarily based in Cyprus. So it looks like NordVPN does have some connections to CEO Corp and Surfshark as well. There has kind of been a run-of-the-mill rumor that somehow Surfshark and NordVPN are related companies and there's some kind of shared management or something like that. Now, legally, I can't really confirm that, but I just thought that this interesting tidbit here, discussing how there is some kind of relation between NordVPN having an administrator who is a senior marketing consultant at this company, and then when you find out Surfshark also is seemingly owned by this company as well, it just seems kind of weird to me. But like I said, legally, I'm not going to claim anything, but you could kind of make your own assumption on, what you think of that. Now, lastly, I did kind of want to talk about something I found on vpntrust.net, which is kind of like the homepage for something called the VPN Trust Initiative. Now, this is something kind of founded by NordVPN and a couple other different VPN providers, with a parent of like I2 Coalition. It seems to have okay objectives, but so far I haven't really seen it do that much for VPNs. Who's to say what they will do in the future? I think it's kind of more like a PR move perhaps. But on this website, I was able to do some dig around, and I did find that the CEO of Surfshark is none other than this Lithuanian guy called Vaidotas Kasikonis. So there you go. That does seem to be the real CEO of Surfshark, the founder himself. I'm not sure why it took me an hour just to find that out when they could have just posted that on their website to be more transparent with its customers. Instead, it seemed to be some other kind of lawyer, and then all that digging around with CEO Corp and so on. Surfshark, I think you could make some improvements here, for the reputation. I'm not going to give you really any points because at the end of the day, a reputation is, how I feel about the company, what I feel like their reputation should be. It's my opinion, and my opinion is that it shouldn't take this long to find who owns the company. Not only that, but even though I know the CEO now, I still don't really know anyone else involved with the company or kind of like what they're like. I don't know what this guy is like. I don't know what his policy for the companies are. I don't really know his kind of management style. And, some of this stuff is hard to find out. But one of the reasons that some of the companies that got 5 out of 5 for reputation is because they joined the RVP. I've talked with the people personally. I've had conversations with them about VPN. I've talked to them about their companies and their origins and stuff like that, their policies on privacy. And I've done none of that with this guy and none of that with most VPN providers, which is why most every VPN provider can't get a 5 out of 5 for the reputation category. It's just simple as that. Sorry. So one of the good things about Surfshark is that they have kind of honed into the streaming VPN market. They do seem to be compatible with Netflix. You can see the Twilight Zone, which means it's unblocking the USA version of Netflix and not just serving up a generic kind of library that you can expect with, just what happens is that if a VPN can't unblock Netflix, it will just show up kind of Netflix originals. If you can block a specific region, it will show specific regional content like the Twilight Zone. Hope that makes sense. So does Surfshark work with Hulu? I've been having a couple of issues. It had some kind of like error, so I had to actually exit out of my browser. And now, yep, it's giving me the same error again. Fastly error, please check that the domain has been added to the service. So now I am testing out if Prime Video works. If you guys haven't seen The Sound of Metal, this is an incredible movie about this deaf guy, or rather a drummer who becomes deaf and he has to learn how to deal with it. Pretty solid movie. Good thing is Surfshark does work here, so that's nice to see at least. So lastly, it does seem like Surfshark does work with BBC iPlayer. So overall, not too bad, working 3 out of 4, but disappointing to see it wasn't perfect with Hulu integration, or I couldn't get that working, unfortunately. But outside of like my own anecdotal experience with the Surfshark, I have noticed a lot of people on Facebook for some reason aren't happy with Surfshark. A lot of people claiming they can't get refunds and stuff like that. So I kind of also take that into account when I'm reviewing a VPN's customer support. You know, what are kind of like the communities at large saying? Can I find any communities that seem to be unhappy? You know, I'm not really looking at communities like Trustpilot or, you know, application reviews and stuff like that, because I don't find those that legitimate in my opinion. So overall, that is going to be kind of taken into account when doing the final score for the support category for sure. So guys, now that we're here at the end, what is the final score for Surfshark? Well, the final score is a 3.2 out of 5, making it kind of a lower end of the tier 2 VPNs. Surfshark, make no mistake, does very well in certain categories. The speed is actually quite good now. End of 2020, going into 2021, WireGuard implementation has done very well for Surfshark, no questions asked. Support seems okay, with live chat offering being very responsive, although their support responses, like on Facebook and stuff like that, seem kind of mixed. So it kind of depends on that. Let me know down in the comments down below if you've had a bad experience with Surfshark support, what happened, maybe even some detailed pictures, and I might lower the score depending on, you know, your guys' experiences with it. As of right now, it's an okay support score. Streaming did pretty good, although I couldn't get Hulu to work. The application itself has most of the features you would want as well. The one category Surfshark could improve on is the pricing scheme as well as reputation. I don't really like pricing schemes that increase price after a certain commitment. I don't like pricing schemes that want you to do a commitment. I don't like pricing schemes that use limited time sales or countdown clock timers. None of that is what I like. Additionally, I would like some clarification from Surfshark if they want to comment or contact me about how they can legitimately provide unlimited connections to users without ever worrying about, you know, overloading servers or stuff like that. I think that is a concern. Additionally, I would like more transparency from Surfshark. As you've seen, I've dug around and been able to find most of the information about the company. However, I don't really like the nature of the company, the structure of the company, and I think Surfshark could do a lot for being more transparent for its customer base. Come on podcast shows, talk about, you know, the executives and stuff more publicly. Don't make it so most people who are customers can't find this information. The only way I was able to find this information was a lot of digging around, years of experience doing this, so I wouldn't really consider most of this information readily available for customers, even though it is public information if you look hard enough. Because at the end of the day, if someone like me could find it, it's very easy for a spy agency or some malicious actor to find this information. So I don't really get the point in having these different shell companies and different organizations of companies if it's just easily found at the end of the day. There's not really that much anonymity factor as someone like me can find it. So why is the excuse to have the company set up this way to be more anonymous and safe for the people who own it, when in fact it doesn't really do anything? Anyways, guys, those are just my thoughts. This was just my opinions about Surfshark VPN. You're free to make up your own opinions or not listen to mine. That's why this is a review. Although I am objective and unbiased and use tests and stuff like that, there is a certain component that is my opinion. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this unbiased Surfshark review in 2021. And let me know down in the comments down below what you thought of this one. See me in my Discord chatting as much as you would like me to. And like I said, click on some links to support the channel on the tier list or in the description down below. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video very soon.